everyone, this is Amynah. I hope everyone is doing well. Today I am reading a very short but interesting chapter from the book Matilda. So just to quickly refresh your memory, as you might recall, in the last chapter we figured out that Miss Trunchbull was indeed the very mean aunt that Miss Honey had, who bothered her a lot when Miss Honey was growing up. So let's see what Matilda does with that revelation. This chapter is called The Names. Miss Trunchbull, Matilda cried, jumping about a foot in the air. You mean she is your aunt? She brought you up? Yes, Miss Honey said. No wonder you were terrified, Matilda cried. The other day we saw her grab a girl by the pigtails and throw her over the playground fence. You haven't seen anything, Miss Honey said. After my father died when I was 5.5, she used to make me bathe myself. And if she came up and thought I hadn't washed up properly, she would push my head under the water and hold it there. But don't get me started on what she used to do. That won't help us at all. No, it won't, Matilda said. We came here to talk about you, and I have been talking about nothing but myself the whole time. I feel like a fool. I'm much more interested in just how much you can do with those amazing eyes of yours. I can move things, Matilda said. I know I can. I can push things over. How would you like it, Miss Honey said, if we made some very cautious experiments to see just how much you can move and push? Quite surprisingly, Matilda said, If you don't mind, Miss Honey, I think I would rather not. I want to go home now and think about the things that I've heard this afternoon. Miss Honey stood up at once. Of course, she said. I've kept you here far too long. Your mother will be starting to worry. She never does that, Matilda said, smiling. But I would like to go home now, please, if you don't mind. Come along then. I'm sorry I gave you such rotten tea, Miss Honey said. You didn't at all. I loved it. The two of them walked all the way to Matilda's house in complete silence. Miss Honey sensed that Matilda wanted it that way. The child seemed so lost in thought she hardly looked where she was walking, and when they reached the gate of Matilda's home, Miss Honey said, You had better forget everything I told you this afternoon. I won't promise to do that, but I will promise not to talk about it to anyone anymore, not even to you. I think that would be wise, Miss Honey said. I won't promise to stop thinking about it though, Miss Honey, Matilda said. I've been thinking about it all the way back from your cottage, and I believe I've just got a tiny little bit of an idea. You mustn't. Please forget it, Miss Honey said. I would like to ask you 3 last things before I stop talking about it. Please, will you answer them, Miss Honey? Matilda said. Miss Honey smiled. It was extraordinary, she told herself, how this little snippet of a girl seemed suddenly to be taking charge of her problems, and with such authority too. Well, that depends on what the questions are, she said. The first thing is, what did Miss Trunchbull call your father when they were around the house at home? I'm sure she called him Magnus, Miss Honey said. That was his first name. And what did your father call Miss Trunchbull? Her name is Agatha. That's what he would have called her. And lastly, what did your father call you around the house? They called me Jenny, Miss Honey said. Matilda pondered these answers very carefully. Let me make sure I've gotten them right. In the house at home, your father was Magnus, Miss Trunchbull was Agatha, and you were Jenny. Am I right? That is correct, Miss Honey said. Thank you, Matilda said. And now I won't mention the subject anymore. Miss Honey wondered what on earth was going on in the mind of this child. Don't do anything silly, she said. Matilda laughed and turned away and ran up to the path to her front door, calling out as she went, Goodbye, Miss Honey. Thank you so much for the tea. And as I said, friends, this chapter was very short, so that was the end of that chapter. I wonder what Matilda will do with these 3 random pieces of information. I can't wait to find out, and I will come back with another video very soon, so stay tuned. Bye-bye.